Happy Who Year and welcome to Who Corner to Corner. My name's Geoff and I'm sure you know that by now, and I'm joined as always by my good friend Paul over there. How are you?
Yes, hi, hello, I'm good. Happy Who Year to you, Geoff, as well.
And to you as well. For now, we got Ho 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 Corner to Corner at Christmas and Happy Who Year. We're hijacking all the holidays.
We're going to make the most of this if we can.
Yes, we will, yeah. So this is our first full episode of 2024, so very exciting. Hurrah! We're here, and we're just going to talk today, the title of this episode is New Year, New Who, so we're going to have a bit of a discussion about, what 2024 might hopefully hold for Doctor Who.
See how that discussion plays out.
But first of all, we'd like to say thank you very much to everyone who listened to our audio dramas that we did over Christmas and New Year. It was great fun working on those. Probably should schedule the workload a bit better.
That's what I'm saying. You're saying that now, but I remember when you were going through this, oh my God, I'm never going to get it finished. It's never going to sound as good as I want it.
I didn't stay up till 1:30 on
most
nights of the week of Christmas doing them. No. So when I could have been playing Avatar game. But the Christmas Day one, Christmas Crime, was written by myself and starred Katie Haynes as the 13th Doctor and Emily Beach as Yaz, who apparently people are confused and actually think it's Mandip. She does that good an impression.
Like Mandip. How good is she?
Yeah, she's brilliant. Dom, who listens to us, messaged yesterday, and she said, "Wait, who's reading Yaz?" and I said, "It's Emily." I said, "Did you think it was Mandip?" She said, "Well, I wasn't sure. I didn't think so, but I thought I'd check." And you did some voices in that, and Freya, your daughter, did as well.
She did. Yeah, she was up for that.
She was
one
great.
of her rare good moods.
Yeah.
Made the most of that.
And we had some brilliant poster artwork by Kelly Rosen as well. So that's been very well received. And then we had If Winter Comes, which was written by Kelly Lucy McCall. And we had some poster art by Owen, who's Whovian Life.
Owen did a fantastic job on that.
He did a lovely job
really
there.
Good. And he was very patient as well, because we did, I say we, it's probably me, so sorry, Owen. Suddenly got feedback right at the end after he'd done all the work, and then it lands across my desk, and I'm like, "Oh, I just changed that. You could change that and do that and do this, that." So sorry, Owen, but it's astonishingly good, mate. Really,
it looks
thank you so much for producing that.
And that one was voiced.
If you're
by
still
Katie,
listening to us, by the way.
Hopefully, he didn't get cheesed off. And that was Katie, Emily, and Elodie Davis as well doing that.
Really good story. I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, a bit darker, that one. So thank you. And the feedback has been great. And if you enjoyed them, don't worry, we are working on some more things.
Going to do some more. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, a lot of fun.
So that's very exciting. So. We've obviously just had the Church on Ruby Road, which is the first full episode of Ncuti was 15th Doctor, and our introduction to Millie Gibson's Ruby Sunday. And we did our review episode for it, which came out last week, and we enjoyed it very much. So it's quite an exciting year ahead, really. We've got a new series starting in May. Is it 8 or 10 episodes? I'm not quite sure.
I think it's 8. Is it 8 episodes?
Yeah, I think it might be.
They cut it down to 8, haven't they? Thinking that they can do a
and,
better job with fewer. So they look better.
I kind of don't mind that. If they get given a budget allocation and they spread it across fewer episodes, you're spending more per episode. Therefore, it'll look more spectacular.
Yeah.
So
sorry, go on.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Yeah. I think again. I think Stranger Things is only about 8 episodes, isn't it?
Most things are these days.
Usually between 8 and 10 episodes, or 12 at the most. I think 12 is kind of a luxury in some ways now, isn't it? Whereas when you think of like the old, like the CW shows like Arrow and The Flash, and all those sort of things, and they would run for like 20 odd episodes, wouldn't they?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
same with Buffy and Angel, which is your big thing, Smallville, all of those. That was the thing.
All of that. And
I think the landscape is changing now, though. I think we said previously, like Sopranos, I think was only 12, 13 episodes a series. Game of Thrones was 10. Obviously, Stranger Things, I think, is 8 or 10. I'll probably have to double check that, but it's not.
Yeah.
You know, it's not the quantity. It really does seem to be the quality. You know, because I think a lot of those 22 plus episodes long series would vary a lot. You know, there'd be a real peaks and troughs in terms of the quality.
And those kind of shows, you know, they're really good, of course, but it's not like prestige TV, which these shorter series, higher budget
it's a bit
things
more of a factory output, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, it's a lot of the same sets and you know, interior filming and stuff like that. You know, and you know, there's still a lot of shows done like that. Bones was Castle. You know, Grey's Anatomy and all that kind of stuff.
But they're finished now, aren't they? They're not going on.
They
anymore.
are, yeah.
So that's what I mean. That whole thing now seems to have changed, and of course, those dramas were pretty much. I mean, there'd be some sort of series arc, I think, but most of the shows will be standalone episodes, wouldn't they? Fit in between the kind of arc, and you may get a pickup right at the end of one of those episodes, which leads into the ongoing story, but might not even be picked up in the next episode at all. It might be 3 or 4 episodes down the line before you see anything further moving, and then it's all towards the last 3 episodes of that season mostly. Whereas if we get 8 or 10 strong episodes that are more tightly knitted together, whether they're standalone or whether there's a series arc threaded through them, I think that for me, I personally. I mean, I'm not saying give me 22 episodes of Doctor Who and I'm going to hate it. Of course not. Give me 22 episodes of Doctor Who, and I'm probably going to love it, you know. But I think if you can give me 8 really good quality Doctor Who episodes, I'm not going to be disappointed at all.
No. I think it's the way of it now for, you know, kind of high concept shows, you know, the bigger stuff that's not a, you know, hospital procedural or something. Yeah.
Should have a thing for that. Should do a thing. High concept shows.
I'm going to edit that in over. So I'm looking forward to the new series. I read a little bit about what the first episode theme might be.
Have you? Is it in?
I don't know.
Here in this month's new issue of Doctor Who magazine, which has just landed on my desk. I haven't read it. I've literally just got in the house about an hour ago and picked it up. So is there?
I haven't been home yet. So it's about the boogeyman, apparently, a boogeyman.
Is that?
So it does seem like they're going, you know, a little bit more fantasy this season, which is quite exciting.
So is it a thing that the kind of the realm to the toy maker once opened has not been fully closed behind him? Is that a thing? Because that was a vibe I kind of picked up. Because right at the end of the giggle, right? The Doctor, our new Doctor, Doctor 15, picks up a big mallet from the TARDIS floor, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because the weird, strange logic, the kind of physic-bending logic that the toy maker brought with him has kind of led to some weird stuff happening, you know, hence the bioregeneration, I think, and stuff like that.
Yes, I think it's probably something like that. You know,
because it was all about him going to the end of the universe in a wild blue yonder and putting that line of salt in or something, wasn't it? And something kind of stepped through. So maybe not just the toy maker, but whatever the toy maker is afraid of, and whoever is responsible for that giant hand picking up his tooth at the end of the giggle.
Yes, could be. That's maybe why there was goblins.
Indeed, the same sort of thing. Goblins, straight out of kind of a steampunk 1980s child film, or Goonies, wasn't it? That's what I kind of said it reminded me of. Gremlins and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a bit like Labyrinth. There's a T-shirt.
Labyrinth, definitely. Yeah, very much
King,
on their vibes.
And it's written in the Labyrinth logo. Welcome, Goblin King, or something. It says. So it's quite cool.
Just not David Bowie though.
No, it's quite a bit uglier than Bowie, that Goblin King.
Yeah, it was very much Jabba the Hutt style, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's more like
really
it.
Sort of played on that. Except I'd probably argue Jabba the Hutt had a bit more character, because we knew more of him. The Goblin King was literally just there to get spiked, to provide, you know, a big mouth for the babies to be thrown into, I guess, and for the Doctor to save said babies, Doctor and Ruby to save said babies, and then to get spiked in a grisly manner at the end.
Yes, bloodless. Interesting. I did just read, I don't know where it came from, but RTD saying that there was a sequence where the Goblin King came to Ruby's flat and chased them around.
Oh, really?
And
oh my goodness, that would have been hilarious.
Cut it for they cut it for budget reasons.
Yeah, I can imagine it'd be quite difficult to do.
So so even though they've got more money, they still can't do everything. And
I think also it's about sometimes with these sort of stories is thinking, where is the story? So if you are going to cut something, you got to stay focused on the story you're trying to tell. And I think whilst with a lot of fantasy and sci-fi shows, there's always a temptation to give the big scale epic or the big monsters and spend all the money and time on that. But sometimes if you do too much of that, then the story gets lost, I think, in all the kind of glamour and glitter and stuff, all the surface detail, which needs to be there because without goblins, it's just any other show, really, right? That episode, it's more of a kitchen sink type drama. So it does need that, but nonetheless, the heart and soul of the story, that story for me is all about the Doctor and Ruby meeting, getting to know each other, getting to work their way through an adventure together, and deciding that they're going to continue, sort of having adventures and meet the family and have a little bit of peril along the way, which is always the fun of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's you can you could put stuff in that's unnecessarily, it's fun, but it doesn't kind of serve anything, and when your time is restricted like it is on the show, you have to be what's the word?
Judicious.
Maybe you just have to use the really best stuff.
I'll just say it here. I've got the word judicious written across my computer screen. Use this word today, Paul. Judicious. But then you think as well, the trouble is if you cut too much in a way, it's like, and I know you're not a fan of that sequence in Rose with the burping wheelie bin, but nonetheless, it's things like that people remember, isn't it? That when you're growing up, if that was your first Doctor Who, you will remember the burping wheelie bin that ate Mickey. And you'll go down your street the following day and see all these wheelie bins. You know what I mean? If you're like 5-6-year-old at that sort of time, then and it's important not to lose sight of that. So, despite everything I said, had we had a Goblin King chasing Ruby and Fam around the kitchen on that episode, that would have been what it would be remembered for. But you're right. If you've got limited time, the thing I think you have to do as a program maker is focus on the story and tell that story.
Yeah, absolutely. If they'd had that sequence, it would have been great fun, I'm sure. But it would have been
someone in a rubber suit, wouldn't it? Really, with a bit of CGI added, or it could have looked awful, though. Couldn't it?
It could have done, and maybe there was an element of that. The big rubber, Goblin King could have looked awful. I'm very much looking forward to the new series. I'm kind of hoping for some fantasy and obviously sci-fi and high energy from Ncuti. He seems great. It's really vibrant, I think is the word. And I'm looking forward to spending more time with his Doctor. I was thinking a bit about other stuff that's happening this year, and we talked before about Big Finish and the ton of stuff coming from them.
Ton of stuff, absolute wedge of it.
I know our friend Joe Ford listens to an awful lot of Big Finish stuff.
Well, he kind of has to now. He's kind of dug that hole for himself, hasn't he?
Yeah. He's got to keep going on it. Yeah.
Good on you, Joe.
I haven't listened to anything in a while, just because I can't get through it all quick enough. But I was
listening to one today, actually. I'll tell you about that.
Really?
Go on. Yeah, go on.
Okay.
Go on.
I was just saying, I'm hoping that this year we'll hear the return of Sixth Doctor, Mrs. Constance Clark, and maybe even Flip as well.
To get that storyline finished off, yeah?
Yeah. Anyone who's listened to us before will know I really like that TARDIS trio, and we spoke to Miranda Raisin about this time last year, and she said she was going into the studio to record, but obviously Lisa Greenwood was poorly, but I do believe she was recording recently for something, so maybe there'll be something coming out with them, so I'm looking forward to that. And I think at some point the Fugitive Doctor story set will be coming out as well. So it should be quite good. See what's going on there. And I had been really enjoying the unit series, but
you said you like those.
I think because there's obviously constant rumours about a unit spin-off show. I think the audios have kind of been knocked on the head for now. Oh, and talking of spin-offs, the rumour was that the war between the land and the sea, which is a pretty lame title if I'm honest, was.
It's probably just a working title.
Well, I would hope it is. It's clunky. It's big. It's not particularly sort of exciting, even though what us fans, we know what it could be, but as a show name, I don't think it's terribly exciting.
Don't know. Is it not in the kind of realms of was it Shadow and Bone and stuff like that? So that's like the overall, the Lord of the Rings. Is
well, maybe that's what they'll do. It will be Sea Devils on holiday, the war between land and sea.
No, what I mean is like the war between land and sea. It's the war between land and sea saga or something.
Yes, that's what I mean. Yeah,
just individual.
It'll be maybe that's what they'll do. But be interesting to see what they do.
That market.
Maybe that's the unit spin-off that they're going to do, and it will focus on classic villains. Like we text yesterday, didn't we? And the villains in the show are great, but I sort of feel that they are so intrinsically linked with the Doctor that I'm not sure them without the Doctor would hold my attention enough. But then might be quite interesting to see what their worlds are a bit more like, and what they do, their adventures and misadventures and stuff like that. So I would think that they wouldn't go into something like that without obviously a plan and the knowledge that it should work and it should appeal. So we'll see, but it's exciting to think that something's coming, like that, and when they'll announce it.
We'll see what happens, yeah. Because I the first I heard about this potential spin-off idea was, I think you put a tweet out or something, or you texted me, didn't you? And I'm saying, what spin-off? Well, Sea Devils? What?
Yeah.
So because that's where this comes from, right? It's, if you haven't heard about it, it's rumours or something leaked or something somewhere.
Yeah, the
Sea
title
Devils might
was
be getting their own spin-off series.
Yeah, I think the title was. I think somebody found it on Company's House as a.
Oh yeah, something like that, and then loads of other people sort of got onto it, and then before we knew it, people were putting images together and YouTube vids and all kinds of stuff
and
out there.
And someone, it was listed on a production news website, looking for crew or something. So I guess something's happening. There wouldn't be all this kind of rumbling without something.
Maybe, but quite often there is a little smoke without any kind of fire at all, isn't there, really? And I think in a lot of ways it keeps the conversation bubbling, doesn't it? It keeps the show front and centre. It keeps people talking about it. And I think it's interesting what you're saying there, actually, about a lot of these spin-off shows, because not being quite the same, because, and I agree with you, I think the Doctor's the most, the Doctor is a central character within a lot of these. It's, the Doctor is the person who everything kind of gravitates around, and the particular energy of the Doctor, the personality that they have, and the way they catalyse events in their stories is a massive part of why I watch this show. The Doctor is not just any random hero; they're something quite unique and unpredictable and everything, and it's one massive reason for the show's success. So I was kind of thinking, does it apply to the other spin-offs? And we've had a few spin-offs previously, right? We had Torchwood, Sarah Jane Adventures, and we had Class. Now, out of all those, I think Torchwood has its fans. I'm not particularly one of them. I just thought, for me, it was more. I mean, they were pretty much all unlikable characters. I'm not saying every character has to be sympathetic, but they've got to at least gauge my interest. Yeah. And none of them were very interesting, apart from Eve Miles's character. But she was quite domestic in a lot of ways. She could be. You could lift Eve Miles's character and drop her into pretty much any other TV drama, the soap, any a soap, Coronation Street, EastEnders, Casualty, even whatever, and she would pretty much still be the same character. So I didn't think that was particularly interesting. Having said that, Series 3, which is Children of Earth, I thought was astonishing. I mean, it was, honestly, I thought it was one of the best examples of TV sci-fi that we've ever had. I don't know if you've seen it, but I think it's just extraordinary. It's where Peter Capaldi plays a prime minister, but
that's right,
that doesn't really have an awful lot to do with Torchwood, if I recall. They're kind of involved because of their, of who they are. But again, it could be almost any kind of made-up sci-fi type, agency that goes through the same sort of thing. So that is brilliant, but it almost exists on its own for me.
On its own, yeah.
Class, again, has its fans, but I didn't get past the first episode of that one. It just wasn't my cup of tea. But then it's not aimed at me.
Yeah.
I'm an old bastard, so
that's something
a much more younger demographic. But then, of course, we got the Sarah Jane Adventures, which was enormously successful without the Doctor. So the Doctor only shows up at certain points. However, I think Sarah Jane kind of became the Doctor in those stories. She's not the Doctor, but she's spent enough time and has been so much influenced by the Doctor that she has a very similar kind of energy. She's very much a catalyst for change. She also represents someone who's a little bit older, perhaps, and perhaps is a little bit more. I'm searching for the word, not traditional, but takes needs to sometimes be pushed by the younger characters who will see things from a different perspective because they're so much younger than she is. So I quite like that. There was a nice dynamic.
Yeah,
and so she's like the Doctor, but not quite the Doctor. She does the same sort of thing. She marches in, she instigates change, she goes through the adventure. But she feeds a lot off the younger characters, and they drive each other. So it's a really brilliant dynamic in the Sarah Jane Adventures. But so that was. But again, the template for a lot of those stories was very much in the mould of Doctor Who, whereas Torchwood was like, it's in the Doctor Who universe, but it's not like a Doctor Who story.
No,
it feels very different. And I thought the same was to a degree with Class from the little I saw of it. I don't know. Did you watch Class?
I watched the first one, had a bit of a cry when Doctor sees Clara's name on the board at the end.
Oh, was it?
In memoriam or something.
Yeah.
Sad. But yeah, I mean, it was fine, and it does indeed have its fans, and like you said,
and they're very passionate fans, and they love to see it back, and I hope it does come back
more audio, and but we're probably not, its target audience, which I think is also important, and we said this before that. The main show itself is trying to, reach so many people of such varied ages that, sometimes you're going to get burping bins and sometimes you're going to get something a bit darker and a bit more serious, and that's what it's going to do. So, but I think, a spin-off sounds exciting. I'm interested to see what they do, and, I like Kate Stewart, and I think it'd be good to, enrich her character a bit and have more of her on screen.
Yeah, Kate Stewart's a weird one, Mix. I think she's great, but on the other hand, I think she's never really kind of been given, I don't know, like a big moment to sort of step out and own the bits that she's in.
I think it's she leads the unit audios, of course.
Yeah, and but is she good? Is she good in those?
Oh yeah, I mean, she's very good, but you don't ever sort of get, any home life or anything like that, particularly, So she's very much, about the job, and that's it. And she cares, deeply for Osgood and stuff, and the rest of the team. But it's there's not really any kind of character growth or anything like that, particularly.
Yeah.
It's very kind of static and moving. Just constant in the same way.
Yeah, which does sound a bit like
on telly.
Yeah, it sounds like a character, isn't it? She is quite static in a way. Yeah. You know what I mean? She's got an authority about her, which I like. There's no kind of messing with her. And when she switches her ice, the ice face on, a game face, it's not to be messed with. But we don't see much outside of that, really. We're already at high pitch, and she goes up a bit, but we don't ever feel like we see the real Kate Stewart, which would be quite interesting.
Yeah,
we got close in Flux, didn't we? When but all we saw was her house being blown up. So we saw a house, and then we saw it being blown up.
And then they've destroyed the home life.
Yeah. Kate Stewart's home life. You don't need to know that. Let's blow it up. Boom.
So I'm looking forward to seeing whatever that might be. So I saw the other day that there's rumoured Doctor Who Barbie figures coming out.
Really?
Which I think is quite cool because it shows that the show is a big thing, and you wouldn't have stuff like this happening and crossovers in. Yeah, and
would they have a Doctor Who Ken? That could
well, it
confuse
was
things, couldn't it?
Ken as well, it would be Ncuti, but he would be the Ken, as it were.
He'd be the Ken, but he's the Doctor. So which
but
would imply that's Barbie. So would the Barbie Doctor be Ken, aka Barbie, aka Ken, the Doctor? Just go round in some kind of weird
now.
sort of.
But they did Jodie Barbie, and I think there's a Fortnite game thing coming out as well, and there's keeps being Lego set rumours and stuff. So do you know what I mean?
Doctor Who Fortnite?
Yeah,
not Barbie. Doctor Who Fortnite.
No, Doctor Who.
So you moved on from Barbie. I was getting confused now.
But
so it just kept
adding
in my brain. So we have Barbie, we have Doctor Who, we have Fortnite. Now it's all part of one kind of multi-commercial
multiverse. Yeah,
but with Disney thrown in for good measure.
My point is that they wouldn't be doing this stuff if the show wasn't big enough.
Yeah, they might also be just trying to cash in on stuff while it's still hot, maybe while it's still a bit of an unknown in a way. That might sound weird, but I mean, by unknown, I mean what the next phase of Doctor Who Enterprise is going to be like. Yeah. Obviously it's a whole new era with this. We have a new Doctor. It's been produced by Bad Wolf. It's been, got partnership with Disney and Sony and God knows who else. And there are clearly plans afoot to do something. So this is untested waters now, really. So it could just be firing all kinds of things off and seeing what sticks.
Yes, there could be an element of that, but I still don't think that things would happen like this if there wasn't a belief in it, as
maybe
overall. But time will obviously tell. But that's exciting. I'm excited to see what.
He's excited. Look at his little face there. He's excited. Look at that excited face. Those little chubby cheeks. That smile. Those brilliant white teeth. Look at that. Gorgeous, Geoff. So I just couldn't resist that. I think we should record your excitement for posterity. That's all I'm doing there.
Yeah,
maybe not.
I was going to say I'm excited to see what other figures and things are coming out as well. I
don't really get in with those so much. It's not really my cup of tea.
I know. Yes, I know it's not. And I mean, we know some people. Like I think Aidan has quite a large number of the figures, and I've got the 13th Doctor ones, and a handful of others at home, and they're great. But I'm sort of. I always have a look out to see what gets released and to see what I might like to add to the collection. I do quite like to get a figure of a Doctor. I've got 10 and 11, and I think I've got 12, and I've got 13 and 14. So I've got to get 15 at some point.
That's the problem. That's probably why I don't get involved in it, actually, because I know that once I start, I won't be able to stop. It's like I'll do the DVDs and the Blu-rays, and I did get far with the audios, but I think with me it's the Blu-rays, the collection box sets, and the Target novels. The Target novels has always been my kind of thing with Doctor Who, and I tell you what, actually, just on that, it's kind of amazing that we're still getting those. You know what I mean? I know, again, we've had them for the Target range has been back for a few years now, right? But when the modern series came out, we've had a few different attempts at getting Doctor Who books out. They've always been based on original stories, haven't they? And of course, the thing about the Target books is they're based on the televised stories, which in some ways is a little bit more exciting for me. It kind of makes them canon, if you know what I mean. It's weird, right? We've all got our own idea of what canon is.
The original stories, and I was going to say, hopefully they'll do some of those for Ncuti, and there must be another range of a wave of targets coming.
Well, we've got the 60th anniversary specials coming out, haven't we? And we've got the book, the novelisation of The Church on Ruby Road, which is in a hardback cover. So I don't know if they're planning to do a Target version of that a bit later on.
I guess they will do at some point. I think it's quite amazing that those episodes have only just gone out, and there's the books and stuff. I wonder if
again, like you said, they wouldn't be doing this unless they kind of knew that there was a market for it.
Exactly.
It's going to be big because you've got to invest to do that, right?
Yes.
And I guess actually, the kind of researched Target novels are good enough. They're performing well enough that BBC Books is happy to continue producing them, so that's always a good thing. But we have seen a bit of a slowdown on original novels, haven't we? I think. Which
there hasn't been anything.
What do we have? We had Sophie Aldred's book, didn't we?
That was a few years ago now.
Have we had one since then? Can't remember now.
No, because previously they did 3 original stories per series of the show, but we didn't get any for series 12 or Flux era. And I think I'd read that they wanted to, because there were so many secrets in series 12 and surprises and all that kind of stuff, they wanted to sort of have the focus on that rather than having a lot of peripheral stuff as well, which is fine. But
I suppose it makes sense.
Yeah, I get it. It's just nice to get the books. So yeah, hopefully this year we might get a few more. And I know that Titan Comics are starting up the 15th Doctor series. May I think it'll start. So that'll be good.
Yeah. See if they bring the 10th Doctor in to give him a hand.
That feels a bit like the spectre looming over everything. Doctor 1.0 is still out there, and I wonder if the spin-off show rumours for that were true, or if there'll be audios or
the 14th Doctor. Getting his own crime drama, Sunday Tea
Well,
Time
actually,
crime drama.
it was there was a fake, I think it was fake poster going around, Partners in Crime with Tennant and Tate on it, and it had Disney Plus on it and everything, and I'm pretty sure it's not real, but
no. But you can kind of see it though, can't you? If you're really cynical, you can see that happening. But
but I hope that Titan restart their 13th Doctor series, and I don't know if they'll do what they did previously, where every Doctor had an ongoing series each month, because it was a hell of a lot of stuff. But maybe they'll do an event again that brings some of them together or something. So either way, they're going again, so that's really good. I'm pleased to see that. And I was going to say, with like figures and stuff, I wonder if Funko might start their range up again, because they haven't done anything for years. They got part way through doing all the old Doctors. It'd be nice if they pick that up again. I know there's quite a lot of people desperate for a Yaz, but I need to add Sixie to my collection. But
Funko.
Like you said, if you started collecting things, you wouldn't stop. And I tend to
like that.
If it's something I like,
so I limit it to discs and books. That's it.
Yeah, and that's fair enough. And I would usually get a handful of things out of a wave. I wouldn't buy every Funko in a drop that they did or something. I'd just get 1 or 2 maybe.
Gotcha. I see. I understand. Yes.
Try to control it. And then
control that urge. Jeff, you bad boy! Put that back on the shelf. God damn you! What's the matter with you? You don't need that thing. You got 100 at home already.
Well, that's kind of it, really, and also it's just space. Where do you put it?
Where are you going to put it? Yeah. We got a mortgage to pay as well.
Yeah,
already.
So you have to be somewhat careful with it. Another thing I hope that we might see this year is another set of magic cards as well.
Oh yeah, magic.
Which I know you're not too keen on.
It's too complicated for me, mate. I ain't got enough time in a day to learn all them rules.
Yeah, no.
If I'd have started when I was 10 years old, maybe, but now there's just not enough room in the brain for me to accommodate all of that.
Yeah, it does. It is quite complicated and takes up.
I mean, and again, maybe if everybody was in the room together, like because I know when we did it, I know you're still doing it, and it's all online. But it's such a faff to set it all up. It's just I got the patience, mate. You know what I mean? I'd rather sit down, read a book, watch telly, go to bed, and whatever.
I would like to play in the room. So maybe at some point can do that with someone. But there's a lot to look forward to this year, and I'm sure as things progress, we'll find out about more stuff.
Yes, indeed. So, well, and we're going to be following all of that with our usual kind of blend of random words thrown at you.
Yeah, we will be. We're going to obviously keep trying to get exciting guests on the show.
Yeah, we got some good ones lined up.
See if we can get any new series people on once that all starts. Have to see what we can do there, and
that'd be cool.
And we'll hopefully keep you entertained alongside.
We'll try our best.
The main show.
Yes, we'll do that.
So,
we'll bombard you with reviews, with commentaries, with audio dramas, audio books, and ramblings such as this in between times, as much as we can and as often as we can. Because why not? We love it, do we not, Jeff?
Yeah, we do indeed.
We should actually be working today. We were literally doing actual proper paid work before we broke off and said, let's do a podcast, just for a laugh, just for lols. Why not?
So on that note, I probably should go and get on
back
with stuff,
to it, shall we? Really?
But if you're still listening now, which hopefully you are, let us know what you're looking forward to this year and what you kind of hope might come out from the world of the Whoniverse. Thanks for listening. If you haven't, by the way, check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@whoc2c. Video versions of a lot of our episodes on there, and some exclusive Magic the Gathering stuff that we put on there as well, all sorts of bits and pieces. So go and give us a subscribe there. We'll return the favour.
Is that a thing? Was that what one says? Give us a subscribe.
Give us a
subscription
hit
is what
like,
a gift
subscribe.
to be given.
They don't have to pay for it.
I don't know what the kids are saying these days.
No.
Is that parlance? I don't know. Is that what they say? Is that on Instagram, Tok or something? I don't know.
It's Tiki Insta.
Tico, whatever.
We do have one of those actually, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, but I haven't got anything on it particularly.
No.
If anybody who knows TikTok wants to handle our TikTok channel, then get in touch, because that's probably what we need.
Yeah, we can't manage that one as well. So
no. See, Freya said she would do it, but actually she's got too much on with her A levels and stuff right now. So
that's fair enough.
And her own TikToking efforts. So she's not going to do it for us. Oh dear, it's all fun and games, ain't it? Eh? Oh, it's getting too old for this nonsense, Jeff.
We've got plenty of years left.
We have indeed. Plenty of years and plenty more episodes of Who Corner to Corner coming your way, dear listeners.
So thank you for listening and watching, and we'll catch you next time on the podcast.
Bye for now. See y'all later. Y'all.